All right, switching gears now. It is certainly heartbreaking for any parent to see their child struggle with confidence and loving themselves for who they are. So today, we have this lovely lady, Dr. Stephanie E. Wilson-Coleman is here. She is the author of this book, Self-Esteem, Your Superpower, Ways Parents Can Improve Children's Self-Esteem. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure meeting you, and it's a pleasure being here today.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, you talk about how self-esteem is really a superpower. And when you're young, when you're a child and you don't have that, it can cause a lot of difficulties, right? That can perhaps even lead up to adulthood.
As a matter of fact, it does stay with you in adulthood if you don't have a high self-esteem, because this book, I've been told by a lot of adults, have actually helped them at their stages of life, and they're in their 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Isn't that interesting? Okay, so let's get right to it. Self-Esteem, Your Superpower. What is in this book? What techniques can you give us to help our kids feel better about themselves and get more self-esteem?
So there are a lot of techniques that I use, and there's 4 or 5 in the book. We'll go over a few of them. And one of the things is that parents need to learn to communicate, okay? And this goes for your child no matter the age, but of course things are a little easier when they're 5, 6, 7, 8. But don't get discouraged, because they're just as easy when they're teenagers too, okay? Because remember, you can trick a teenager. You can trick a teenager to do just about anything you want them to do.
So I'm writing all this down.
So you just need to pay attention to them. So that means no phones, no television, no electronic devices, just you and your child.
Okay.
And then you've got to sort of be tricky about the kinds of questions you ask, okay? So you want to avoid those one-word questions.
Yeah, they're like yes
or no.
Right.
Or maybe, or I don't know. Right.
I don't know,
so
Mom.
Do things like, what's your favorite thing to do when you're in the car or on the bus, and why?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite smell? What's your least favorite smell? If you were going to buy the groceries today and cook dinner, what would you buy and
I
why?
like that one.
If you were a pizza, what kind of pizza would you get?
Yeah.
So ask questions like those. Those are open-ended questions, and they cause you and your child to start to think about things so that you can get the lines of communications open.
It opens that dialogue, right?
Yes.
And I know that I've always heard, you know, as a parent, if they feel comfortable with you now, they're going to continue that as they get older. Sometimes my husband and I joke, as my daughter, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is 25 questions over and over and over. But I also say I love the fact that she feels comfortable enough to come to me and ask me certain questions. And I tell her, please let this happen when you're 16. Please still do this when you're 16.
Well, my son did it all through his life, so be careful what you ask for.
That's probably true. Okay, can you give us one more tip, perhaps, before we let you go? I know, get this book, because there's so much in this book, but give us another one real fast.
So I want everyone to start to play again. I want you to do things with your children that will cause you to be more creative. Remember, creativity will create a strong emotional bond.
Yeah.
And it also opens up the lines of communication. And if you do things that are physical in nature, then you're improving your physical fitness. So play scavenger hunts, sidewalk games, hide and seek, things like that little kids like to play. And there are other things that teenagers like to play too, so play those kinds of games too.
Well, and I think teenagers kind of get overlooked. They might pretend they don't like it.
That's right. But they love it. Yes, they do. They do. They love it. I have not met a teenager that I haven't been able to trick into a good game of hide and seek yet.
That is
because
so
I'm
true.
a good hider.
I love it. I am a good hider. These are good, and they're so simple.
Yes.
But I feel like they can really make such a big difference.
Yes.
So thank you so much for being here and helping us kind of retrain our brain.